It's a token that, and they focus. They're on the payment side. They're focused on making payments and remittances to other countries. Like if you're in the U.S. and you have family in Mexico or something, and you want to send some money across the borders, it's a pain to do that with like Western Union. You could do that with Bitcoin, but they're kind of competing with Bitcoin in a big way because they're really just focused on sending value across country international lines more easily, which you can do that with XRP. So
Okay.
I don't think it's really much more than that. So I don't have any interest in buying it at all. Like I don't find it. To me, Bitcoin already does all these things, so I don't really see the point of it. But a lot of people are into it, I guess. But the SEC, and we know a lot of cryptos are basically securities. You know, they're basically unregistered securities because they're
Yeah.
like Radio Shack. What they're doing is that's fucking a scam. I mean, and they're not even you can look at it as them giving out stock almost for you giving them money, and you're believing in the brand. So it's sort of like an unregistered stock. You know what I'm saying? Unregistered security,
Yeah.
same thing. So the SEC accused XRP or Ripple, because Ripple is a corporation that actually runs the token. That's another reason why I don't really like it. But they're running the token and they put it out, and they're accusing them as basically saying that this token is a stock, and they will give future profits from it. Now they're saying Ripple is saying we're not actually doing that because that basically is what defines a security is if you give out your profits to someone who purchases the token or
Right.
stock, whatever you want to call it. And if they're claiming they're not doing that, they just happen to be a company this created this token. Now you
Like,
can.
because the token itself does not correlate to the value of the company.
That's what their claim is. Let me show you this video of Gary Gensler kind of talking. This is the SEC commissioner, chair, whatever you want to call him. He kind of talks about what he defines as a security. Makes it make more sense.
Can you explain your view of whether Ethereum is a security or not? I think you've actually suggested it isn't.
Talks about Ethereum
but
here
then why
specifically.
you believe that Ripple is a security. And I know there's an ongoing lawsuit related to Ripple, but could you speak to the Ethereum issue?
Andrew, just to have a little fun with you, refer back to my earlier question. I'm not going to speak to any one matter, and so your listeners understand it. I'm the chair of a 5-member commission that's also a civil law enforcement agency. And so we don't get involved in these types of public forums talking about any one project, one possible circumstance, and give legal advice over the airways that way. But again, let me talk about more generically the overall market. If you're raising money from the public, and the public is an anticipation of profit based upon that promoter, sponsor, that group's efforts, that's within the securities laws. And it's within the securities laws because Congress painted with a broad brush. They wanted to protect you, the investing public, so that you have proper information, or what's called full and fair information, and protect you against fraud.
Okay, so I think that's pretty cut and dry as to what it is. And another big point that he says, and I've heard him say it before, is if it has no other purpose than to distribute profits to individuals. So, like if the token has other purposes, you can argue that it's not a security. Does that make sense?
Right. Well, I think it does have other purposes. Don't
Right.
you?
Yeah, I agree. I think they're off on it, but Ethereum is one that's been targeted. He's pretty much said he doesn't view Ethereum as the same way as Ripple. He differentiates them, and maybe I'm not seeing it. But I think the main reason why is because Ripple is run more like a company. Like there is a company behind it that makes profits. Ethereum is run by it's like a foundation, and it's decentralized, much more decentralized than Ripple.
Hypothetically, if Ripple went out of business, would XRP go away?
No.
Okay.
that to me says that they don't have a case.
Yeah,
Now,
I think so too.
you know, so, and I think in reality there needs to be a big overhaul of how the SEC does business, because they're going to really limit things if they're so, the scrutiny is so much, because that, I mean, you could argue the ape coin is one of these, because they're talking about using it to, you know, promote and do video games and all these different things. So it's you could argue it's a stock in a sense. I don't know. I guess the way I look at it is I don't think they have a case, but I'm biased for sure. But I do think it wouldn't be good for the industry if Ripple loses this case. It'd be good if they won. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Right, and like I said, Ripple argues that owning it gives them no right to profits from Ripple. Ripple profits have nothing to do with the XRP token. But you could argue that there's definitely some correlation there. So,
I mean, yeah, there's probably correlation. That wouldn't surprise me. But
right,
I don't think it's like 1-to-1 or anything like that.
no. But there's definitely been a lot of cryptocurrencies, even Ethereum, that when they started, they basically said, this is our initial sale, our initial coin offering, and people have bought into it and helped start the project. So they are raising, there have been, even Ethereum has raised money from individuals to get started, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. It depends on how you define it, I guess. Like, if it's purely a raising money type of thing and that makes it a security, then there's a lot of cryptos that are up a creek.
Yeah.
Like, if it's purely just like you're raising money, then that's like everything. Except there's only a few that wouldn't be up a creek, and Bitcoin would still be okay, because it's not centralized at all. You can, I mean, it's nothing, you know, it's totally decentralized. And when it was created, it was worthless, and it wasn't people saying, "Hey, come buy this, come do this." It was just people mining it, and it naturally garnered attention.
Yeah. I mean, couldn't Ripple like be on the stock exchange as well? Like,
Yep, it could be, but it's not. But it could be.
yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of. That's why supposedly this case is going to get resolved in 2023. It's been pushed back a lot. And actually, Ripple, I've heard, is countersuing the SEC. So I don't know. I don't care about the XRP token at all. Like, I really don't give a crap. But I hope they win, because I think that'd be a good sign.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know the details of it, but to me it seems like it's not a security, but I don't know.
Well, and it also
Guess we'll
brings
find
up
out.
something, you know, what we talked about last week about the wallets being able to tokenize stocks. How would that work? Would that be okay? Would that be allowed?
Right.
Like, that seems like that would blur that line. Or maybe it wouldn't, but I don't know. It just it always confusing.
The NFT itself would be like an unregistered security. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I don't know how that would work. It'd have to be. I mean, the SEC would have to have a large part in the process, because they're the ones they're registered with them.
And really, I just think these laws are outdated.
Yes,
I don't think they're
outdated.
equipped to handle this.
No, they're really not. They need to have an overhaul of the laws, or just have a new organization, or just because I mean these are awesome technologies that are being held back by the government.
Yeah.
And that's not
exactly.
good. And right now they're not able to keep up with all the scams. There's so many scams, it's insane. Just, I mean, there's a million other tokens out there that are obvious scams. I don't understand why going after one that's somewhat legitimate makes sense. I mean, Ripple, I think I don't really know a ton about it. All I know is it's basically a competitor to Bitcoin. In my opinion,
they might be doing something that, like, specifically is different than all the other ones.
Yeah, there might be details I don't know.